then I mean this is one where, it's hard to bet against him. I know everybody's probably thinking, oh yeah, the Niners. Yeah, that I would have felt better in a rematch against the Ravens because there were a lot of tip passes for interceptions early in that game, and then it got away from them. But the Chiefs and their game plan is just go up early and suffocate you, and that's how they're winning. Travis Kelce's revived his career. He went from just nothing. It's one of those, what does Vegas know? I think this is going to come down to a last-second field goal, but it's hard to bet against Mahomes. I will, but it's hard to do that.
Well, think about this, too. The headline is going to be Mahomes. It's Kansas City's defense. Number 2 in the NFL. The whole formula has been keep it low scoring, keep giving 15 the ball, and eventually his team will end up with more than the other.
Yeah. I mean, it's the way Mahomes can break containment. And it's
never dead.
Just when you think your defense called up the perfect defense, he scrambles around, you go chase after him, and he throws it down the field for 30 yards. If you don't, he runs for 30 yards.
And, of course, when David decides to take a couple of days off, a couple of Pittsburgh stories end up dropping. Art Rooney speaks on Mike Tomlin's extension, saying they're working their way towards finishing it. How safe is Mike Tomlin right now after a down year for the Steelers in terms of Pittsburgh's expectations?
I think he's very safe. I mean, Pittsburgh is kind of like Detroit. It's one of those jobs it's hard to get fired. Like it's a family business, and Tomlin is a member of the family. Kenny, it's a reason why I think they've only had 3 coaches. That's it. Like Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and then Tomlin.
But they also survive these massively high expectations. They constantly want to be in the playoffs. They constantly want to be talked about as a Super Bowl type team. That always hasn't been the case, but Mike Tomlin has survived it all.
Tomlin has. He looks broken. He looks like he's tired. I thought he was going to walk away. You bring in Arthur Smith to run your offensive, as your OC to run the offense. I think that may help. He can lean on him. He was a head coach, even though he wasn't a great one. I don't have to do all the heavy lifting. He'll survive.
And that's what I was going to bring up next is the Arthur Smith hire.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
No,
it
makes sense. I mean, run first offense in Atlanta and in Tennessee.
Yeah. Dear Najee, suit up.
Well, and a healthy diet of both Najee and, why can't I think of his name? The other running back that they really leaned on this season, too, splitting the carries. They're going to run the ball so they don't have to lean on Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Jalen Warren.
How about this? Go get a quarterback. Just in this Kenny Pickett experiment, go get a real quarterback. He's not the guy. He will never be the guy. This is almost like a spike quarterback thing. Like somebody's going to prove a point. No, he's really that good. No, he's not. You're never going to win with him. Go get a real quarterback.
Yeah, elevate yourself from a 9-win team to an 11, 12-win team.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm monitoring everything that's going on in Chicago.
Yeah.
And
Minnesota.
If Fields is available, that's who you want to go get.
I agree. Fields dynamic.
See, I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to get let go because Minnesota saw what it's like out there and it was cold. And it's not just because Minnesota is in the middle of nowhere. It was cold out there with those other quarterbacks they had.
Good point.
They didn't have anything. And Cousins' value, not him being shirtless pounding the drum, but just the fact that our other quarterbacks were bums.
Rico, once again, copying off my notes because Art Rooney also said the Steelers, quote, still feel good about Kenny Pickett and they're still interested in Mason Rudolph's return. So I'm taking it that that's not what you think they should be doing right now.
No. I mean, that's just rubbish versus garbage. Like, you don't win in that situation. Neither quarterback is good. You're Pittsburgh. Imagine if you had a middle-tier quarterback, how far you would go. That you don't have to sit there. Well, let's hope that Kenny Pickett doesn't. No. Just go get a quarterback. Somebody other than those two. The competition for those two, who can get out of town faster.
So I read this stat the other day going back to the Super Bowl that 4 years ago and now there's only 12, between the two teams, only 12 returning starters from the team 4 years ago that will be back for this Super Bowl. What does this say about how you construct a roster built to succeed in the NFL?
Not for long. Just when you think you've got the nucleus, 2-3 years later, it's going to be a lot of new faces. Win while you can.
What it tells me is that you don't get too loyal to a player. That there are no sacred cows. That, we can't win without, we got to have this guy on the team. No, we don't. I can find somebody new. I can find somebody younger. I can find somebody cheaper. That's what the good GMs do. You don't pay everybody. You have a nice run with a player, but when the run is over, you send them on their way and you draft their replacement.
Some foreshadowing for Detroit.
Yes. I mean, because if not, you end up buying all your players and you keep the band together, and now you become the Saints.
So this is per Fox. It was the fourth most watched non-Super Bowl, the NFC title game, fourth non-watched NFL game on Fox, and it was the most viewed NFC Championship game since 2012. What do you think accounts for this? Is it simply the Lions were America's team?
Yeah, I mean,
everybody. Did you see those maps? Everybody and their mother was rooting for the Lions across the country.
Think about it. Wasn't it the round before the highest TV ratings for the divisional round, and the week before the highest ratings for the wild card round? The common theme, the Detroit Lions.
And you know what? As a Lions fan, here's what you want. You want to be so consistent, because right now it was the novelty. You were new. I'm tired of seeing these same teams over and over again. Who is this Dan Campbell? He's a funny guy. I kind of like this team. Oh, Jared Goff's the underdog. When you're good enough, then people get tired of you and they don't want to see you anymore. And now it's like, oh my God, Dan Campbell again. You know what? Let somebody else play, not the Lion. That's the goal that you want to achieve. So, but yes, Kenny, I think a lot of it is it's football. Okay, let's just be real. It's title football, so everybody's watching, and it was better than the first game. First game was horrible, and I kind of like the announcers in this game. There was a lot of things that went on, but and the Lions, the novelty factor, they wanted to see who's going to play the Chiefs.
Rico making an even hat trick. That game happens to be the last for Greg Olsen in the booth. You were just talking about the announcers.
How does he do this?
It's likely that Tom Brady takes over. That's the speculation. It seems like that's where we're going here. What do you think of that? I actually kind of like Greg Olsen in the booth.
I think it's a travesty because you're handing it over to Brady. And just because Brady was great on the field does not mean Brady will be great in the booth. You have a commodity. I love Olsen. I love what he brings. I would not take him away from this. I would let Brady kind of earn his way to the top instead of just handing him the crown and say, well, you're going to be the GOAT in the broadcasting. Yeah, didn't work out too great for Romo. Okay? We all grew tired of him.
Very quickly.
And I don't know if Brady's in this for the longevity, but Olsen, he's built for this.
Rico, you're 100% right. But unfortunately, because of what they're paying Tom Brady, he's not going to be on the B team or the C team.
But
they're going to feel, because of the money, they're going to feel obligated to put him on the A team. And you're right. It's not fair to Greg Olsen because he might be the best analyst in the NFL right now.
How many stories is Brady going to want to share? He's a private person.
Yeah.
So in a crap game, he's not going to sit there and give you some dirt on, hey, let me tell you about Belichick. One time we were doing this. I just have a strict diet of this, and I do this, and I hang out in privacy. Hey, Tom, what about this? I don't want to talk about that. Tom, you actually get paid to talk now. Nah, I don't. I'm not comfortable talking about that right now.
And that is your In Football Today.